climate is a very crazy climate, man.
I trust our government. Right. I trust our government officials that they won't disrespect the Constitution like
However,
that. However,
the behavior that we have seen from Donald Jamal Trump in these last 4 years, especially here at this last moment.
I've always considered this coronavirus similar to an STD. Okay. And the fact of how
okay, that's the hot take. Okay. Yo, what up, good people?
What?
It is I. Welcome to Be the People. I'm your host, Lawrence W. Sanders Jr. And we got the homie LaWade riding shotgun.
Yes,
and,
sir.
I want to thank y'all for joining us today. We got an extra host on the show.
We got an extra one, man.
Let's go. If y'all are joining us, hey, drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know you're here. We love interaction here on this. Hey, what's going on?
Doesn't want to go to bed. Doesn't say hey.
It's all right. Hey, you'll be a part of the discussion.
Talking to me.
But yo, we appreciate dialogue on this show. Yeah. Please drop a comment. Let us know you're here. But if you're driving home, keep your hands and eyes on the road. Drive safely, please. But turn us up in your earpiece in your car. We got a great show for you today. Wade, how you feeling, man? What's going on,
man? I'm feeling good, man. This week has been great.
It's a good week.
Hear it?
Let me tell you, it's been a great week for me, man. Because Sour Patch made a bag of all the blues, bro.
All the blues.
Just the blues, man.
All the
my
blues.
Favorite one. It's been a good week. It's been a good week for me. But it has not been such a good week for the American people, man.
The American people tend to lose. They tend to just lose.
Man. Yeah.
Like
we taking a lot of L's.
Losers individually, we are winners.
Yeah, but we've been taking a lot of L's. So let's jump straight to it. So we got a President Biden. He's pushing for more gun reform. He's really pushing. He's made an appeal to the people. Pushing for stricter gun control, and a part of it, I heard him speak. He wants to ultimately outlaw, make having assault rifles illegal. Now, we don't really lean one way or another. Well, we do. However, we have a lot of people who believe, Kendrick, what's going on, man? Hey, that believe that the Democrats want to take their guns. No, we don't want to take the guns you have already. And I say we because I don't identify as a Democrat.
All right.
I have different affiliations, which are yet to be discovered or whatever you want to call it. However, you have one side of the aisle that says they want to take our guns. They want to take them from us. And they're violating my right to bear arms. But yet here we live in a nation where domestic terrorism by these said weapons runs rampant. And so our current president wants to make these laws stricter. And from my interpretation, when we hear gun reform or we hear stricter gun laws, Barack Obama talked about it and he spoke about it very eloquently. He never wanted to take away your guns. He never wanted that there's not going to be people knocking on your door and say, hey, put all your weapons. And no, the issue is that getting a weapon here in America is really easy.
Oh, extremely easy.
It's really easy. It's easier to get a weapon than it is to get your driver's license. And so on the left side
of the crazy because you need your driver's license to actually get that weapon.
Bingo. So there are people who believe that the gun law should be stricter. And so, Wade, what's your take, man? I'll give you my take. Well, how you feel about that, man?
So the gun laws being strict. So, all right. First off, we as American people, so we just gonna sum everybody up, right? We're not even gonna segregate. We're just gonna not even be divisive.
Devin, hey.
So we we as the American people have really shown that with great power comes great responsibility, and we don't have responsibility with the power of holding the gun. We are not responsible whatsoever. There are people that have multitudes of guns. Cool. There may be gun collectors because they love the sexiness of the guns. That's fine. If you have shot a gun, you understand how powerful it is. You understand how dangerous it is too. Even I say powerful because you feel you can take a person's life, you can take an animal's life, you can take anything. You can take your own life, right?
Right.
Even powerful when you feel the kickback or the recoil. Excuse me a second, ma'am. Thanks. So I have my partner right there on the side of me.
Riding shotgun.
Riding shotgun, right?
Yes,
So yeah, so even the recoil can hit you back in the face if you're being goofy with it, right? But nonetheless, right, the responsibility that comes with shooting that gun, we don't have that self-control. We don't have that self-accountability for it, right?
Right.
So that is.
Someone doing that tablet.
No, what I was saying is that I'm with you, man. Like, I agree, and I think now as any time as ever is the time to tighten down just a little bit on these gun laws, because it's really easy to get a gun.
Man, it is sickening how easy it is to get a gun.
Chef Shahana, hey. So my
it is. Hold on, let me put this quick analogy. It is quick to get a gun. It's easier to get a gun than it is to remember your password on HBO Max, right? Flex stunt, right? So, so it is like I'm sitting there struggling to be like, what is that damn password? So this girl could watch Sesame Street, and I can't even remember it right now, and I'm just like,
could have had a gun by now, man.
Right, $14.99 though. That's that small flex.
Right. But man, listen. Here's my take on this, man. My take on it is this: as stringent as it is, you know, when you go to get your driver's license, there's two parts.
Mm-hmm.
You have the written portion, and then there's where you have to, you know, they give you the education behind, you know, the history of cars and, you know, proximate stopping distance when you get to a railroad track. And they try to give you, you know, a brief rundown of the laws and all these things when it comes to like the paperwork, right? There's the classroom portion, and then there's the practical portion, because they want to make sure, just as, you know, you get behind the wheel of this vehicle, it too can be used as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And so they make sure you know, your state legislatures go through great lengths to make sure that, you know, you wear a seatbelt. And there are all these things that if you don't wear a seatbelt, you get a ticket, right? There are so many things that you have to do in order just to get a license. Just to get a license, you have to do a written test. You have to do so many hours, and then you do an actual driving test. And then from there, you pass the driving test, then you actually get your driver's license. I feel like getting a gun, it should be the same process. Because we have to you have to get a permit to carry.
Yes.
Right. There's a permit that you get to carry, but there is no stringent process to actually get a gun. Yo, Chef Shahana, what's up? She said the NRA makes too much money to really try to change it. And you're right. But
they make a lot of money.
But here's the thing, though. The NRA is about to come under a lot of scrutiny and about to catch a lot of smoke if people keep getting access to these guns and folk keep dying.
Okay. So do you think that's really going to be happening, right? Like, so for example, they shot up a school. They shot up hospitals. They shot up a senator, a congressional softball game.
Yep.
They done brought guns into the Capitol. Yep. They done brought, like, I can't even name any. I'm sure whatever I name, a movie theater done shot up.
Right. What else?
A church. Right. So they done shot all these places up, and nothing has changed. There's not been one iota of a thought. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there has been. The thoughts and prayers that go with the families. Right.
Right.
That is what it is. They don't want. So anybody I can hear my voice from a distance, right? The score, by the way, is HBO Max 3, me 0.
Oh, dang, bro.
But nonetheless, right, it is the fact of they're not trying to take your guns. They are, as you mentioned, they are trying to make it really just harder to get a gun. Okay, and it is not that hard to get a gun as it is, as you mentioned. Who is they? They is the U.S. government, sir. That is who they are. The people that the people that we answer to. They. Okay. Yeah, them too. So those Anglo-Saxons, phenomenal people, by the way.
Oh, Anglo-Saxons, those devoid of color.
So I would like to also mention this. So because I haven't heard this all day. Is Blue Lives Matter though. So I know we know. So that's a shout out to Officer Eric Talley, right? Who was killed in Boulder, Colorado. So I'm not hearing that, right? So we're hey, ma'am, how you doing? So that's her too, me zero. So I'm just losing all day, right? So
LaWade is taking L's.
I'm taking L's all day, man.
Taking L's. Nah.
I'm just taking these L's all day.
Nah, not at all.
Nonetheless, man. Right? So this Boulder, Colorado. So Blue Lives Matter. That shout out to that officer there. But nonetheless, it is. But nonetheless, it is despicable. Like you mentioned the driver's license. You have a motorcycle?
Yes, I actually have my motorcycle license.
Okay, right. I got mine 2 weeks ago. My motorcycle.
Okay, congratulations!
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I'm gonna tell you, well, the motorcycle is fun, but it is very scary. Dangerous. It is very responsible. It's very dangerous, right? Mm-hmm. Because you are exposed, right? You are exposed when you are riding. Because hell, somebody just sideswipes you, your leg's gone, right? So it's just, but it's the responsibility. So I think the motorcycle, you must respect the road, right? Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Hell, I put it out there on Front Street. I had to take the test twice because I didn't respect them. I didn't respect the bike on the first one, and I was like, "Oh, that hand clutch power. Oh, you
better learn it.
You turn your all right. You better learn it. Right,
yes, sir.
You flip your wrist just one time, and that bike takes off.
Yeah,
right.
And that's a wrap.
Thank you,
Lamar. Boss man, appreciate you, man. We got a from Lamar Flow. Before we go to the next, though, I mean, you're right in the fact of that there is a lack of respect. And to delve into your point, though, enough officers keep getting killed. Now this is the detriment of Blue Lives Matter. Now that there's a movement, now that there is a struggle or something attached to a movement, now there's going to be a conflict, and as with anything, there's going to be a day of reckoning because you can't keep killing cops and all these other things too. So with Blue Lives Matter, let's talk about the Asian homies and friends. I have a very interesting situation. This is a very interesting situation. A lot of Asians have been experiencing hate crime. Hate crime, not quotational hate crimes. They've been dealing with a lot of hate crimes here recently. And if there are any of my Asian brothers and sisters, and I consider y'all to be brothers and sisters, I would just like to say welcome. We've been dealing with
welcome to the hate, or
yeah. Okay. Welcome to the life that so many minorities, or not even minorities, people of color, African Americans have experienced since we got here. I mean, the fact that, I would like to welcome you guys to the American experience, if you will. And I empathize and I do show sympathy for our Asian culture. But I have an issue. Y'all ain't really been messing with us for some time now. Y'all have a few prejudices when it concerns us as well. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I think it's unfortunate that the Asian culture is experiencing such racism and hatred. I think it's unfortunate. A lot of people was like, stop Asian hate. I'm like, let's just stop white supremacy and white racism. I think it'll fix all of it.
Absolutely.
You get rid of white supremacy, you'll fix the Asian hate, the Indian hate, the African American hate, the Puerto Rican. Like you'll end all of that because the common denominator is white supremacy.
Absolutely. And
Asian people, welcome to the struggle. Y'all need hashtags on stuff too. Yeah.
Right. So
go ahead.
My bad, man. So here's the thing, right? So with the Asian folk,
thank you, Chef Shahana.
Thank you, Chef Sahana. We get paid in spices.
Spices, please.
So spices, please. Only spices. Right. So so with the Asian community, right? And I hate when people do this, but I'm gonna do that. I got a lot of Asian friends, right? And so the thing about it is I understand I empathize with them so hard because now people are ignorant to the fact that everybody of that yellow complexion is they are Asian, but they do not separate them, right? So they just look at them as the cause to this pandemic. They're like, oh, coronavirus, you are coronavirus.
Yes.
You jackasses that are calling them that, y'all don't really wear your mask, so kick rocks there. Right. But nonetheless, right, it is, and I understand there's a dislike to some blacks and Asians based on the fact if you can go back to history, you can even go back to Rodney King, to the riots in California, right, where that Asian shop owner killed that young lady.
Yep.
Sure right, did. Which caused the riots in California, and they're like, right.
Like, what do you want us to do?
Right. So here's the thing, right? Is the understanding that it's kind of hard to say that. It's not hard to say. I mean, it's just to your point, yes, white supremacy is the root cause of this, right? But nonetheless, it is the fact that I can't even tell blacks to kind of look at other, because I understand the hurt and the anger and the frustration, but I'm just saying, look here, right? We understand what the common denominator is. Let's just go towards that common denominator. How do we go towards that common denominator? All right, cool. We try to write the letters, do the marches, do all this other jazz. Nothing's going to happen. That's great. That's fine. But what we need to do, though, is we realize that we do have some allies. We meaning blacks, Asians. And Asians got some allies too, right? So therefore, let's use them allies in those right situations. We got to use as a collective unit our superpowers. So it seems like blacks we're very compassionate and we're very intelligent. Right? Let's use that superpower and resourceful. Let's use that superpower to our advantage, right? Let us not sit there and just try to compare and be like, man, well, the Asians, they understand what we're going through now. Good for them, right? No, let's just sit there and be like, all right, well, cool. Let me support them, not support them as a marching or whatever. Let's support them in the way that they need to find support, and they see that, and they can maybe help us, right? Maybe some people look at that as wrong, but look at it like this, right? We are in a collective unit. We see somebody that's hurting, you kind of go over there to hurt. Hashtag Derek Jackson.
Oh man.
I don't know how I threw that in there, but
wow. No, okay. So here's where I did, like, and this is where I'm at with it. Because just Sunday I experienced something. I went into I went into a restaurant, and I understand like it's still COVID. And I walk into this restaurant. Now, this is a restaurant that I've eaten at for years.
Right.
When I say years, like I grew up eating at this restaurant. Asian restaurant.
Asian restaurant. All right.
And I walk in, and they're still closed. I guess they're closed from COVID. And so I walk in.
With your mask on?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Right. Responsibility first.
Absolutely. Mask and had the sanitizer, all of that. I walk in, and the young Asian lady, she asked me, "Can I help you?" I was like, "Well, no, I'm here to, order. Well, are you dining in? Or are you getting it to go?" And I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, are y'all available for dining?" She was like, "No." She's like, so I was that offered as a suggestion.
Right.
Okay, well, but I'm like, that's fine. Okay, but do you know what you want to order? I was like, well, I'm not sure just yet. Well, there's a menu on the table, so I'm looking at the menu. And I'm literally flipping through the menu. Do you know what you want to order yet? Well, ma'am, I'm just looking at the menu. I'm not sure just yet. If you can you hurry up and kind of decide what you're gonna order?
They're not on closing, right? It's not closing or nothing like that.
No, bro. This is in the afternoon. This is
afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Good.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Well, if you don't know what you need to order, then can you grab a menu and take it outside and look over the menu outside? I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go find somewhere else to eat. And my first thought was,
she could be a jerk. That could be the individual. That'd be my first thought.
Right, but then you would think, though, given the time, if it's our support that you're wanting, if it's our help that you're needing, You should be nice.
So let me flip it on you. Some of them may not want or need. They may not feel like they want or need our help.
And that's the point that I'm getting at. And if that's how they feel, and I feel like that's how they feel collectively as a culture. I feel like you have some that have the side of the media that are saying, yes, it is exactly the equivalent of hurry up and buy. And so my encouragement to them is, listen, y'all figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. And I think for us as Black people, and I don't want to speak for us as a culture. I'm just tired of trying to be everybody's savior. Like they looking at, will you help us? No,
I feel you. I feel you on that.
No,
right?
like I gotta figure it out. But isn't that a problem if we're always focused on helping others?
So we focus on us, but we also tear us down. Hashtag never mind. But we also
we keep them in business. All right.
We do. So we keep going to the. I don't eat Chinese food because of the high sodium, right? But nonetheless, I do eat Thai food, right? I love. I do eat that seafood. That seafood, that seafood in the bag. Who runs those restaurants? Seafood in the bag is all day. Yeah. All we had to do was just come up with it.
Yo. And so my thing is, if you get a chance, you see an Asian, hug an Asian. Tell them, fight the power, keep hope alive.
How do we tell them that though? Like, what if an Asian came up to you and said, "Hey, I feel your pain." So,
I would just say, "Hey, man, there are a few books that you can read. Go read them. Right. And if you want to have a conversation, let's have a conversation. I want to talk to you. Let's talk. But other than that, stop looking to us for help. We can't help y'all. We can't. Y'all treated us like trash for so long, and now y'all looking to us. Y'all looking to the help like help us, and we can't do it. Okay, so kill the apprehended. Black versus the white pandemic here in America. So check this out. I got some data. No, I like intel. I like facts.
Right.
Facts with a K. So get this. Based on data, there was a study that was done, and this is the analysis. White supremacists and other like-minded extremists conducted 67% of terrorist plots and attacks in the United States in 2020. White people committed 67% of domestic acts.
2/3.
2/3 of domestic terrorism. And of that, the number is, let me find the number of actually people who were actually apprehended and not murdered. I have it here. Hold on. The percentage of people that were actually apprehended, I'm showing it says 42%.
Of the 67%.
However, that's of the actual people who committed the crimes. Now, the point is how many were actually apprehended and not murdered. I think it said 42% were actually successfully and peacefully apprehended. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the other number of Black people, but we know exponentially like that number is high. It's stupid high. So, we throw out the whole defund the police.
Right.
Do they really need money? Should we be defunding the police?
I mean, those. And
how do we fix this? How do we fix this? Because
those murderers are having bad days.
Yo, like this dude went into a nail salon?
Which one? Boulder?
Massage parlor.
Massage parlor in Atlanta. Yeah.
They shot 10 people?
That was 8.
8. It was 8. That's
eight,
right.
8 and Boulder was 10.
And Mr. Policeman says he got to the end of his rope. He was just having a bad day.
They can have bad days too. We can't have them. We can. Cops can have them. Anglo-Saxons can have them, but we can't have them.
So and I'm just asking, like, have you ever had a bad day and just went out and shot somebody?
Yeah, on Grand Theft Auto.
Yo, I rampage all the time, bro. Like,
right, and I mean, so for anybody that says that video games cause killers, nah, boss. Nah, let's talk about that. So Grand Theft Auto.
When it comes to certain people,
Right. So we're talking about in Vice City, and I'm shouting out that game, Vice City, which actually kept my composure when I was an intern. Right. I would use the cheat code. Right. All the way back there. Right. PS2. Oh man, you would have one of them corporate days. You would come home, turn it on, put on the cheat code, and go H. Right. But guess what happened? Right. Even if I didn't have it, I still wouldn't have killed nobody. Number one, because killing is wrong, and I'm a diehard believer in them 10 Commandments. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've broken some, but at the end of the day, that I had that fair, right?
Right.
So,
absolutely.
So nonetheless, right? So to answer a question, right? Kill the apprehended. So when I see all these apprehended European Americans, I start to notice that they do know how to do their job. They do know how to talk them down off of a cliff.
Yes.
It is when it is us, and it is simple things, traffic stop.
Yes, Shantae, that's correct.
Yes, that's 18. That's 18 people in 2 weeks. 9 a week. Let's see, that's 14 days. That's 1.1 something a day.
Yeah, 1.1
something. Right.
Yeah.
A day. Okay. So nonetheless, I don't have that. I'm not doing that. But it is cops. You know what? Let me take one step back. I bought a pack of apples, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pack of apples, about 10 of them in there. And this is the first time this ever happened to me. I picked one out, and it was a bad apple.
Oh, no.
Right. A bad apple. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't destroy the bunch. And I sat there.
Like, wait a minute. Let me check all of them. Like, let me go through.
Yep. I checked them all, right?
Yep.
I went through every single one of them. Was like, oh, there's that one. There's that one horrible apple. Then there's those soft apples, and then there's that one good crunchy apple.
Like that, yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that one good crunchy apple wasn't destroyed. I mean, maybe if it was around them soft apples, it would have gotten destroyed a little bit. But you know what else? But you know what got spoiled rotten? Was the damn avocados that I had.
Dang.
Right.
Dang, bro.
Damn avocados that
golly,
right,
bro.
So because I heard the thing that they said that apples ferment quicker, right? It does something to the avocados. So using that analogy, it may not that one good apple was good, right? It was tasty, but everything else around it was destroyed because of that one bad apple.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
And that's exactly what it is. Like that apple probably softened up the rest of the apples. Probably helped destroy my avocados that I paid for. Shout out to the avocados, right?
No guac.
No guac, right? Probably could have destroyed my my bananas if I didn't throw them in the freezer. I had to take the active case to throw them into the freezer. For y'all that ain't catching what I'm saying though, right? Is watch that officer, watch all these officers that don't know what they're doing, who's sitting there killing. Shout out to George Floyd, killing us for the simplest reasons. And before we get into our conservative mind to talk about George Floyd, like let's just ease up on that, right? Let's just ease up on the fact that they're trainers. The fact is, right, that an officer can have a bad day and still walk these streets, right, to protect me.
Live and tell about it.
Right, but I can't have a bad day. I can't talk back to him because they fear for his life. If they fear for your life, it goes back to the responsibility of having a gun. You have something I don't have. Right. So what I'm saying is that one bad officer could destroy that culture. So let's put it like this. When you work in corporate America, y'all know how y'all talk about all that culture? There's office that culture right there. There's that office culture.
Right. Right. And so
ball game.
Here's where I'm at with it. Honestly, I hate the fact that it comes down to we have to say, hey, we're gonna take away your money if you don't change, as opposed to as to seeing the value of life and saying, you know what, there are too many people who are being murdered. There are so many ways that we are not doing our job. We need to change this. And it's sad to say that we are exponentially murdered at a higher rate by law enforcement. But then we witness law enforcement, the same group of people successfully apprehend people with assault weapons and people who storm the nation's capital. And yet, like, it's like there's no explanation as to why it's happening. And so my final thought is this: is just, again, we have a voice, we have a responsibility, excuse me, to make sure that we are holding people accountable. And it starts with us. It starts with our vote. It starts with our voices in our vote. And so as always, man, I encourage y'all to vote, stay up on this stuff, because that is the only way that we can see change. Yeah, shout out to Wade, who's doing the dad thing. Black fathering. Hey, listen,
Black fathers matter.
Listen, for those who don't think it exists, y'all are witnessing. Y'all are bearing witness to a black man father his daughter.
Exactly.
You are a witness. You are witnessing greatness. But all right, y'all. I'm Will. That's Wade, and that's our time. Till next time. Peace. We love y'all.